Chapter 4. The alley behind Mancuso's smelled like old grease and wet cardboard. Nate stood near the dumpster, hands in his pockets, and waited. A shape peeled off the shadows by the fire escape. Mid-30s maybe, nervous hands. Kept glancing at the mouth of the alley like he expected somebody to come around that corner. "You a rat?" Nate said first. No point wasting time. "Hell no." The guy's jaw tightened. "I don't rat. Never have." "Then what are we doing here?" The guy lit a cigarette, hands shaking enough that the flame took 3 tries. "There's a war going on. Renzetti's crew, my crew. We're losing. Bad. 20 guys gone in 3 months. Nate said nothing for a second. 20 bodies. That was a headline. That was a task force, a press conference, a mayor standing behind a podium promising the city answers. 20 guys don't vanish, and nobody writes about it, Nate said. "That's what I'm telling you." The guy's voice cracked up a register. "They don't vanish. That's the thing. They show up again. Couple days later, there they are, rolling with some other crew like nothing happened. Guys switch sides. Happens all the time. Not like this." He shook his head hard, like he was trying to shake the thought loose. 20 guys. Low level, mid-level, guys who've been with Renzetti 15 years. You don't lose that kind of loyalty overnight. Something's wrong with it. Nate crossed his arms. Wrong how? The guy took a long pull off the cigarette before he answered. "We had sit-downs, 4, 5 of them, while all this was happening. Crew out of Hell's Kitchen. Sharp dressers, more muscle around them than I've ever seen at a table like that." He paused. "Only crew I ever saw bring a woman to run things." "Woman?" "Varkas. That's the last name I got. They call her Madame Varkas." He flicked ash onto the pavement. "Not a day over 45, and hell, good looking. One of her guards, I swear I heard him call her Queen. Once. Figured I misheard it." Nate filed that away without comment. "And the guys who switched, you talked to any of them after?" "Tried." The guy's eyes went somewhere else for a second. "Ran into a couple of them, guys I used to grab beers with. They looked right through me, like I was a stranger." He tapped his temple. "Lights on, nobody home. Eyes all wrong. Flat. Drugs? Maybe, I don't know. Valium, whatever. All I know is somebody ought to be looking at this because it ain't normal, and it ain't nothing." He dropped the cigarette, ground it under his heel. "That's all I got. That's all I'm saying." He was gone before Nate could ask another question, footsteps fading fast down the alley and around the corner. Nate stood there a while longer, running it over. 20 men. No headlines. No task force. A woman named Varkas who got called Queen by mistake, or not by mistake at all. None of it sat right, and none of it had anywhere to go yet, except back to that townhouse in Bensonhurst, and whatever was still moving behind those drawn curtains. He checked his watch. Just past 10. Plenty of dark left. He turned his collar up against the wind and started walking toward his car. Wetzel picked up on the second ring, gravel-voiced, half asleep. "Calloway, you know what time it is? I need you to run a name." The pause, the sound of a lamp clicking on. This better be good. Varkas. Goes by Madam Varkas. Runs a crew out of Hell's Kitchen. Heavy on security. Brings a woman to sit-downs. The woman, actually. She runs it. Nate switched the phone to his other ear, pulled out of the spot behind Mancuso's. You ever hear that name? Varkas. Wetzel said it slow, tasting it. Nate could hear him thinking. 26 years unorganized crime detail doing its work behind his eyes. No, never heard it. And I'd have heard it. That's what I figured. I mean it, Nate. I still got guys who owe me favors. Guys inside 3, 4 different families. Something big moves in this city? I hear about it before the ink's dry on the paperwork. A creak. Wetzel settling back against a headboard. You're telling me 20 guys got peeled off a crew and nobody's talking? Nobody. Not the families, not the task force boys, not my guy over at OCCB. That's what I'm telling you. That doesn't happen. Flat. Certain. Guys switch sides, there's a story. There's a shooting, a beef, a guy skims money he shouldn't. 20 guys go quiet and nobody's heard a whisper. He stopped himself. Nate heard him breathe out slow. You sure your source is straight? He was scared, genuinely scared. Not the kind of scared a guy fakes. Silence on the line for a few seconds. Let me make some calls, Wetzel said finally. Quiet ones. You don't go near that house again till I get back to you, you hear me? You go poking a hole in something you don't understand, and this Varkas woman's got the kind of muscle you're describing. You may be the next one to disappear. I hear you. No, you don't. You never did. Wetzel almost laughed, but it didn't have much behind it. Give me a day. The line clicked dead. Nate sat at the red light a long moment after it turned green, the horn behind him blaring twice before he moved. 20 men, gone quiet. A woman nobody in the life had ever heard of, running a crew nobody in the life had ever heard of. Whatever this was, it wasn't a turf war. Turf wars were loud. Turf wars left bodies on the news. This was something else. Something that didn't want to be seen. He turned the wheel toward Bensonhurst anyway. Seeing the unseen was what made him a good cop. A cop. Well, not a cop anymore. Tex's murder had seen to that. Once again, Nate slipped off into his thoughts of Tex as he made the drive.